你好。
我们真的是太幸运了吧！我真的是我的。
This is my video update on this Saturday afternoon, August the 3rd. Let's talk about some news. And the cicadas today are really, really loud. They are singing this Saturday. Something's gonna happen. The cicadas are telling us that something big is about to go down, and something big just might go down. We are getting all kinds of signals from Iran that a big strike is coming. CNN reported, citing Pentagon officials, that Iran was going to be planning a strike, a retaliation against Israel this weekend. We have this title from the Tehran Times: Day of Reckoning looms large. And we have all kinds of posts on social media from Iranian officials, Iranian military accounts, hinting at some sort of a big strike about to take place in the next coming days. Now, the Middle East Eye, they are reporting that Hamas leader Haniyeh was actually killed by a projectile that was fired at his room. And this is according to eyewitnesses. So the Middle East Eye is refuting the reporting of the New York Times from yesterday, which claimed that Haniyeh died because there was a bomb placed in, an explosive device placed in the building where he was staying, and it was placed there ahead of time. The Middle East Eye is saying that's not the case, and this could be the New York Times trying to distract away from the fact that some sort of a missile or a drone was actually launched into Tehran, into the capital city of Iran, during the president's inauguration, and that this projectile hit the room where the Hamas leader was staying. 3 people who were in the building tell MEE they heard sounds before an explosion and reject reports Hamas leader was killed by a planted bomb. The individuals, one of whom was staying in a room near Haniyeh's, said on Friday that they heard sounds before an explosion shook the building. Sounds, they said, appeared to be consistent with those made by a missile. This was definitely a projectile and not a planted bomb, one of the individuals told MEE, adding that they saw the aftermath of the explosion, which appeared to be consistent with an attack by a missile. The other 2 individuals, who were staying on separate floors, also witnessed the aftermath of the strike, which resulted in the partial collapse of the ceiling and exterior walls of Haniyeh's room. Interesting reporting from the Middle East Eye. Goes completely against what the New York Times reported yesterday. So Biden spoke with Netanyahu, or Jim Carrey spoke with Netanyahu, or Hunter Biden spoke with Netanyahu, or Dr. Jill spoke with Netanyahu. Who knows? Who knows who is the president of the United States these days? But someone who goes by the name of Biden spoke to Netanyahu and pledged that the United States would defend Israel if there was an Iranian attack. The president reaffirmed his commitment to Israel's security against all threats from Iran, including its proxy terrorist group Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. The White House call readout stated. Alarmingly, Biden also informed the Israeli prime minister, that he is readying new deployments to the Middle East. This, even as the U.S. commander in chief was essentially forced to bow out of his campaign for re-election due to health and mental acuity concerns, including speculation over dementia. All of this is happening with basically zero congressional input, meaning a somewhat senile and elderly President Biden could be taking the nation into yet another war and Middle East quagmire with no additional oversight or congressional checks and balances whatsoever. I don't think I really need to add anything to that. Zero congressional input. Biden is about to take he is committing the United States to a very big, very dangerous, very costly war in the Middle East. And we don't even know if this is Biden, or we don't know what state Biden is in mentally. Lindsey Graham, he is committing the United States to war with Iran as well. Big surprise. Lindsey Graham, he is smelling war and he is getting very, very excited. And this is the war that Lindsey Graham has been wanting pretty much all his life. He has been itching for a war with Iran from the moment he was elected into the Senate. And he is closer than ever to getting this war with Iran. And according to Zero Hedge, Graham pushes senators to commit to war on Iran if Israel is attacked. South Carolina Republican Senator and well-known hawk Lindsey Graham is salivating over the prospect of war with Iran at a moment regional tensions are boiling in the wake of Israel assassinating Hamas political leader in Tehran and Hezbollah's senior military commander in Beirut. Graham on Wednesday introduced a bill that, if passed, would authorize military action against Iran if Hezbollah attacks Israel. The resolution says that the Senate asserts that efforts to deter Hezbollah and the Islamic Republic of Iran are most credible when the president keeps all options on the table, including military force. It would consider an all-out assault by Hezbollah to have the direct backing of Iran and would thus authorize direct U.S. counterattack on the Islamic Republic. So Biden does have congressional support. He has the support of the Senate, or at least if Graham gets his way, Biden will have the support of the Senate to launch an all-out war in defense of Israel against Iran and Hezbollah and the Houthis and just about everyone in the Middle East if Graham has his way. Everything is lining up to point towards a very big conflict. And the dangers of a false flag. What if Iran doesn't strike this weekend or retaliate this weekend? Or what if Iran retaliates in an unexpected way? And this catches Graham and Biden and Netanyahu completely by surprise. And because they have everything lined up for a big war, some sort of false flag goes down. Graham is committing the Senate to war against Iran. Biden is committing the United States to war. Netanyahu wants a war. Everything is lining up and pointing towards a war. The markets completely imploded on Friday. Everyone is very worried, very uneasy about a big war taking place in the Middle East. So that's the situation in the Middle East. And let's now turn to the other war that Biden has committed the United States to. that Biden has bogged down the United States to, and that is the conflict in Ukraine, Project Ukraine. And the android AI robot known as Budanov, he was giving an interview yesterday, and Budanov claims that the Crimean bridge is coming down. This is what Android AI Intel chief Budanov said in this interview, and he said that Ukraine and the intel agencies and the military, I imagine three-letter agencies in the collective West as well, who knows, but Budanov said that everyone is working very hard to bring down the Crimean bridge very soon. Kiev is currently working hard on plans, including long-range strikes, to make it happen, he said, adding that a comprehensive approach is required. The journalist who was interviewing Budanov explained that by the near future, she meant the next few months, or by the end of 2024, to which Budanov replied, I would like that too. If you look at the near future that way, there are chances, he said. Okay, so the journalist asked Budanov, is the Crimean bridge coming down in the near future? The journalist means in the near future by the end of 2024. And Budanov said, yeah, that's what we would like to have happen. Keep in mind that the Kerch Bridge is completely civilian. It's a civilian infrastructure, so it would be considered a civilian target. Military equipment does not pass over the bridge. There's a road and railway on the land bridge that Russia has. That's where all the military equipment passes. Nothing passes over the Kerch Bridge. So this is civilian infrastructure, but the collective West, Budanov, they've got it in their heads that if they can take out the Kerch Bridge, they can win the war. They've somehow connected the Kerch Bridge to defeating Putin, or to delivering such a blow to Putin that it would lead to his downfall. This is the connection that they've created in their head, and they can't shake it. It's stupidity coupled with desperation, coupled with evil. But there you have it. That is what Budanov is saying by the end of 2024. Keep in mind, Budanov was the same guy that said the Ukraine military that he would be swimming in Crimea by the summer of 2024, or by the spring of 2024. That was Budanov. He said he'd be swimming in Crimea or fishing in Crimea or something stupid like that. So that's what Budanov said. And ABC News, they are reporting that Ukraine is out of soldiers. This is what ABC News is reporting. No soldiers. Ukraine's desperate need for soldiers spurs exodus of young men. As Ukraine tries to recruit more men, some have gone abroad or into hiding. This is ABC News, not RT, not TASS. ABC News is saying that Ukraine is out of men, and the men that the military is trying to recruit, they're bolting out of the country, or they're hiding. They're hiding in their apartments. Sometimes they go out on the street in interesting costumes in order to avoid the TCC guys that try to pull them into vans against their wishes. So what is ABC saying? What else is it saying in this article? The flow of men and the reinforced security at the border reflect two hard truths Ukraine faces. Its military is short on soldiers, and it is struggling to find volunteers willing to fight. 2.5 years of devastating fighting has severely depleted Ukraine's forces, leaving them in some places heavily outnumbered by Russian troops. The shortage of troops means units are often unable to rotate off the front line, leaving them exhausted. The issue is one of the key reasons why in recent weeks Russia has been creeping forward in the Donbass region. I thought Russia was running out of troops. I thought Russia's mobilization efforts and their recruiting of soldiers who are joining the Russian military voluntarily at about 1,000 to 2,000 a day, and they are getting 1+ year of professional military training. But anyway, I thought that Russia was unable to find soldiers. I thought that Russia was running out of soldiers. I thought that Russia had suffered 500,000 or 1 million or 2 million or 3 million casualties or whatever the collective West has been telling us over the past 2.5 years. Didn't Zelensky say 6 months ago at one of these globalist collective West events that they like to put together, where Zelensky shows up in his green T-shirt, and Annalena Baerbock shows up, and Kaya Kallas. Of course, Kaya Kallas goes to these events because that's all she's good for, is going to these globalist events. But didn't Zelensky say at one of these events that Ukraine's losses are at or were at the time 6 months ago at 30,000? Isn't that what Zelensky said? Isn't he on record saying 30,000? So if Ukraine's losses were at 30,000 6 months ago, how in God's name, ABC News, is Ukraine desperate for soldiers? That is what ABC News is saying. So the Financial Times is reporting that the European Union, they are putting together a working group. And this group is focused on what if. They're answering the question, what if? What if Donald Trump wins the election in 2024? EU sets up team to prepare for Donald Trump's potential return to power. Officials to assess possible impact on bloc's trade and defense policies if former president returns to the White House. And reading this Financial Times article, you know what the EU is most concerned about? What they're most concerned about is defense spending and Project Ukraine. United States defense spending and Project Ukraine. In other words, the EU kleptocracy, they are afraid that if Trump wins in November, he's going to take away their money. That's what they're worried about. Their money. The money that the US pours into Project Ukraine, the money that the US pours into NATO, the money that the US pours into the defense and protection and military budgets of the EU member states. They're afraid that Trump is going to start to pull back some of this money. This cafe is completely empty because I think I'm the only one. Well, there are two people inside. I'm the only one crazy enough to sit outside because it's like 100 and gazillion degrees out here. Anyway, let's talk about Pirate Schultz. And The Economist is reporting that Germans are very upset with the pirate. Very upset with Pirate Schultz, matey. Very upset because of the prisoner swap. They're very upset because Pirate Schultz, he agreed to give up Vadim Krasikov. Why did I forget his name? I was talking about him yesterday. Krasikov, Vadim Krasikov. That is right. Germans are very upset that Olaf Scholz agreed to give up Krasikov to the Putin. Some Germans think the hostage exchange with Russia was a dirty deal, but preserving good relations with America was more important. That is what The Economist is reporting in this article. Basically, Olaf Scholz, he is saying that yes, it was not his idea. It wasn't his preference to give up Krasikov to Russia. That's not what he wanted to do. But according to The Economist, friendship with the United States, being on good terms with the United States is more important. So Olaf Scholz agreed to the prisoner exchange, which saw Krasikov go back to Russia. What did I say in my video yesterday? When you're a vassal, you are a vassal. Absolutely. And there was no agreeing taking place from Scholz. There was none of that stuff. Scholz was ordered. He was ordered by Sullivan and Jim Carrey. They said, Scholz, stop complaining, stop whining. You are going to give up whoever we tell you to give up. Scholz, if we tell you to get on that plane and go to Russia, you're going to get on that plane and go to Russia in this prisoner exchange. We don't care. You got it? And Scholz said, I got it. Okay, I'll do it. Fine. That's what happened. That is exactly what went down. Just like Nord Stream, just like when Scholz was in Washington, and right before the press conference with Biden, where Biden said we're going to stop Nord Stream or take apart Nord Stream or whatever Biden said to the reporter in February 2022, and the reporter asked Biden, "But Mr. President, that's not an American pipeline. That's a German pipeline." And Biden, with Schultz standing right next to him, right next to him was Pirate Schultz. This is before he became a pirate. Right next to him was Pirate Schultz, and Biden said, I don't care. That pipeline, that sucker is gone. That is what Biden said. And Schultz just stood there. Schultz stood there and just took it. He took the abuse, man. He said nothing. He said nothing. He did nothing because before that meeting, Newland and Sullivan and Blinken and Biden, they sat Schultz down in the Oval Office or some room in the White House, and they said, Schultzy, don't you dare think about importing Russian gas. If you think about importing Russian gas, we are going to blow apart the Nord Stream pipeline. Got it? And Schultz said, okay, I got it. And he agreed. But in August, I remember reporting on this. In August, Schultz started to put out statements along the lines of, well, maybe in 6 months we can think about getting the gas moving through Nord Stream 2 or something like that. Schultz was putting out statements like that in August, and that's when I think the Biden White House said, yeah, yeah, it's time to blow the sucker up. Anyway, that's Schultz. Let's see, what else? What else? How about the Olympics? The clown world, the clown show that is Paris 2024. So everyone is talking about Angela Carini, the boxer, the Italian boxer, and everyone's discussing what happened the other day in her match, which lasted 43 or 45 seconds. She has apologized to her opponent, Iman Khalif. She has apologized to the individual that beat her in 45 seconds. So everyone was on Angela Carini's side. Everyone was supporting her. Everyone went to bat for her. The Boxing Association, I believe the IBF, they said that they're going to give her $50,000, which is the amount that she would have won if she had won the gold medal in Paris. They're going to give her $50,000 just like that. And she got all of this support, and everyone's talking about this story. Everyone's talking about the match. Everyone's analyzing it. Everyone's weighing in, giving their opinions. And what does Carini do? She apologizes to Iman Khalif. So that's the update there. And finally, we have the leaderboard for medals at the Olympic Games, the medal table, which sees the European Union at the top spot. Yeah, this is a Twitter post that Euronews published, which shows EU countries with the most medals at 20. Wow. 20 gold, sorry, 72 total. 20 gold, 23 silver, and 29 bronze. In second place is China. Third place, Japan. Then Australia, Great Britain, South Africa, USA, Canada, Hong Kong, and Georgia. Interesting top 10 list from Euronews. Yeah, very interesting list. EU countries, they're crushing it. They're crushing it. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. And go to the Duran shop, pick up some limited edition merch, or go to the Reverse Gear shop, pick up a Reverse Gear shirt like the one I am wearing today. Link is in the description box down below. Take care.